Hi everybody, welcome to our MI Live. So tonight we have a fantastic guest for you. Um, she was a Miss Ireland in 2010, so that's coming up now on 10 years this September, and she has had such an amazing career. So guys, I can't wait for you to have the chats that we're going to have tonight and for you to get all the information about what she's done to date and everything else. So let's see where she is. Are you there, Emma? Hi, Emma. You there? Hello.
Oh,
Welcome.
thanks very much.
So I was just telling the guys there before we opened up to you there, that was like literally it's 10 years since you were Miss Ireland. So that this September is your 10th anniversary. Isn't that mental?
Celebration if we're allowed to be out and about.
I tell you, there'll be celebrations everywhere. So yeah, so it's 10 years. It's 10 years since you won, and it's like 10 years since myself and Sean took over the whole event.
Oh, I was,
So like that's
wasn't it?
you were our first Miss Ireland.
Oh, I
So
love
that's like it's like a double anniversary there.
that.
So tell us, when you were Miss Ireland, you actually probably had one of the shorter times because when we took it over like in the June. So we had to pull together a final to happen, almost like what's happening now at the moment with the whole pandemic. We had to pull together a final to happen in the September.
Yeah.
And then I think you went away then in the October. So you had like a window of this much to get yourself organized to go.
I remember I had 9 days because
9 days, I remember. I need to get your vaccinations and everything in them 9 days.
no, it was mad.
And then I also remember then as well. So therefore, I never forget this one. Like the violin. Remember the blue violin?
Oh yeah,
And that myself and Sean had to carry all the way from Dublin to China
that was
for
amazing.
this electronic blue violin. Because at the time, actually, at Miss World, you had one Miss Talent.
Yeah,
You won the talent section, I can remember that year. And which also was fantastic as well with you when you were there, was you were able to speak Mandarin and stuff like that. So you were able to talk to the people there.
I,
And you actually played a piece. And you played a piece, look how much I know. And you also played a lovely piece as well from one of the lullabies that was actually from China.
yeah. So
So,
definitely butchered the Chinese there, the old Mandarin. But my grandfather was the Irish ambassador to China years ago. So I felt like a big connection with China. He lived in Beijing for years. My uncle lived there for many years. He's moved to France as well. So we have a big connection with China in our family. So it was really lovely and really special.
so it was good. And also, that obviously helped you out then when you were there because obviously you had that connection. And then they also they probably would have felt your warmness as well with that connection too,
Yeah,
which was fantastic.
it was.
So there, while you're there, so you win the talent.
Yeah.
And then you also, I remember being at the most spectacular fashion show, which was the big outdoor one. Do you remember that? The big outdoor fashion show?
Stunning.
With the big stairs you walk down, then onto the catwalk.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
It's that dress. Do you remember?
Simon Mahoney, yes, he made the dress. It was amazing.
Who was it?
It was the yellow. It was Simon O'Mahony. It
Oh,
was the lemon dress. Do you remember the one, all the silk and the shit when you walked, it all blew out. It was fantastic.
yes, Johnny.
And then I'm trying to think what other memories we had there. So therefore, there, okay, so you won the talent, then you made it into the top 10, I think, on the fashion as far as I can remember. And then you go then forward then into the actual grand final of this world.
Yeah.
And then, long and behold, you're in the top 5.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
It was mad, honestly, because, before I actually did the Miss Ireland final, I didn't really know a huge amount about Miss World or about the pageant. So, and then, like I said, we had 9 days after I won, because you guys had such a short time to prepare.
Mm-hmm.
9 days before actually flying to China. So I think that was a blessing, though, because I think I went there and just really enjoyed every minute of it. Got to know all the girls. I don't know if you remember. So do you remember Crystal and Co gave me all these like bangles?
They give you all the bangles and the sparkle. They're all the rage back then.
All the rage, Emily and Leah. And so I remember the Spanish girls used to call me Blingy Blingy. So I would come to breakfast in the morning, they would be like, Blingy Blingy, and we used to have the crack. So anyway, I think I was like, let me just like make the most of it. Like China, awesome. Like all these places I'd never been to in China, Hainan, and like, let me meet all these girls. Like there were girls from countries that I didn't even know the name of, And so I think having such a short time before I left really meant that I really enjoyed it more, because I was able to just go and like, not really
Make hay while the sun shines, just get in and do it.
Yeah, and just enjoy the experience. And so then when I ended up in the top, what was it, 5 is the, the way it like whittles down, I was like, oh my God, what does this mean? What do I have to do?
Are we losing internet there? You there? I think we're losing the internet there.
Can you hear me?
New York.
Hello.
Yeah, we lost you there. So I was like, what is it? So you're telling me there about this, you need the short window of time to get ready to get there, and then you dive straight in.
Yeah.
When you were there, tell me what, I remember like you had like, out of all of the trips, I think yours was one of the good ones that you got to see so much of China. Did you get to do the Great Wall and stuff like that when you were there, or what would you do?
It was absolutely phenomenal. I think we were there for about 4 weeks, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And we went to Beijing first, and we did, the Great Wall. And we went to Ordos, which is, incredible. We got to see like Genghis Khan's army, all the terracotta army. We went to, did we go to Shanghai? Yeah, we went to Shanghai.
You went to Shanghai as well.
And we also then went to Sanya at the very end. We like 2 weeks in Sanya.
I think you did the trip down the big river in Shanghai as well at night time, as far as I can remember.
That was absolutely incredible. It was honestly like, I haven't thought about it in so long, but it was honestly such an incredible trip. And like so many of the girls, like I'm still friends with. I went to Malta, saw Miss Malta. I went to Malaysia, saw Miss Malaysia. And I'm still friends with her. Like Nadia, she was over here last year. We keep in touch all the time.
That's fantastic. I remember, I think it was Miss USA or Miss America won that year as well. Alexander Mills.
Yeah.
She was the winner that year.
Yeah.
It was actually, I just remember, it was an amazing experience, I think, for yourself. And also, it was our first time ever being at Miss World as well. And it was like amazing for us and for you to do so well. Because also within that year as well. So you actually get in the top 5, but you're also the top placed girl from Europe as well. So you're a Miss Continental Beauty for Europe as well that year.
Yeah, exactly. And then second runner-up or third runner-up, I can never remember what it was, but it was.
Yeah, I think you came in 3rd or 4th there. Well, the 4th thing was you came in, which was absolutely amazing for you. So, I mean, for like to get there, do you know what I mean? This girl from Ireland that like literally 9 days ago was boom, off to China, But your beauty shone through, as they'd say. So tell us then, so you've done all that. You did fantastic. Then all of a sudden you're modelling and stuff in Ireland, and then all of a sudden New York. So tell me all about this.
Yeah, so after I finished, so went back and I did teaching, and I taught for 2 years, and I did my HDip. And then after that, I had kind of started a blog over there with one of my friends, Mary, she was a photographer. And it was my way of being able to kind of keep myself out there a little bit and because before Miss Ireland, I wasn't really that into fashion. I didn't really, and I made many faux pas and still am making many faux pas, but I'm getting better 10 years on. But like, I really had no clue. I was one of those girls that was just like, a hoodie, going to St. Pat's every day and like, and so I really, learned so much, and I started to really love fashion and started to learn about it. So I started that blog. And so after that, I was like, you know what, like, I really want to get into this tech world. I really want to learn more about it. I really want to start a business in this kind of area. And I didn't know exactly what it was I wanted to do. But my brother had moved to London, and I was like, he's there. Let me go somewhere else and like make my mark somewhere else. And so I moved to New York. So I came over here, and I just started modeling here. And yeah. So,
and you're doing work like with the likes of Macy's and Amazon and all. Like, how did that all come around?
Yeah.
Like, what sort of stuff are you doing with these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I have an amazing agency over here. So Fatima is my booker, my model agent. Since day one. So actually, when I went to my first casting, or my first, to try and get into the agency, she was actually the person who was like, yes, you're coming over, we're getting your visa, you're here, and we've been friends ever since. So that's
fantastic.
So many great jobs. And so she actually got me in with Amazon, the Style Code Live team. So that's the one where Ariana Grande's brother used to do it. And so I knew him just from the social scene in New York as well. He's absolutely amazing. His name is Frankie. And so I just used to work for them for years. There's actually another Irish girl called Alice Cothell who actually works on that show as well. Brilliant girl. And so, you know, you can't get away from us. And then Mason, I did a few of their different fashion shows too. So it's just been amazing, really, you know. Just
Fantastic. And then what was like the whole Tyra Banks connection? Because I remember reading about this in the press, and I was like, oh, what's going on with Tyra Banks and Emma?
So she's managed by one of my friends, Mark Schulman, who also manages like Chrissy Teigen and like a few other amazing people. And so we met one time at the Bowery and like got on like a house on fire, and yeah, just had the crack. And one of her PAs lived down the road from me, and so we kind of just hung out a few times. Really nice, really great girl. Yeah, haven't seen her now.
Absolutely amazing. And then the next name I'm going to drop in here, Larry King. What was that connection?
Larry King, yeah. So, gosh, a few years ago, we were kind of toying around with, or there was a show being kind of pitched to the History Channel. That was with Larry King and Sean King. Sean is still like a good pal of mine. She's such a lovely woman. And so it was basically like a collector's show. So I was kind of, you know, with American Idol, where you have, I think it's Ryan Seacrest is the one who kind of walks around the crowd and like talks to different people. So that was like my role in the show. But at the time, I kind of just settled in New York, was starting to model, and also was starting to study like data science and do different things in the tech world here as well. And so it was a kind of a toss-up between, do I want to go down that route or do I want to stay here? And so I decided that, you know, that wasn't really what I came here for. And while I would probably enjoy hosting a show and, you know, all the rest of it, it wasn't really what my purpose was. So I said no to that show, and I kept up modeling. I know. So I don't know.
But listen, it's always a door you can open again. You know what I mean? It's never always fully closed. So you know yourself, if you're that good, they'll have you back again whenever you're ready, you know? So then the next one that we have to ask about, okay?
Oh.
What is this I hear about investor Eric Smith, former CEO of Google? What's the connection there?
Yeah, so I started a tech company. It's called WILDE. It's basically like, I don't know if you have over there Refinery 29. It's like Netflix meets Refinery 29. So it's a female-focused streaming platform. So we aggregate and curate content that's focused on women. So it has women, tells women's stories. You know, it's focused on people with, you know, different sexual preferences from different ethnicities and backgrounds, just to try and, you know, turn the volume up on communities and people that don't normally have their voices heard, that aren't in the mainstream media. And so we've been working on this for about a year, and we have amazing people involved, like you just mentioned, and, you know, other incredible investors. And so we're launching in about 2.5 months over here in the States. So
okay, and so is it like an app, like the way Netflix is an app? Is it that you go on to and then you'll see all these different stories and there's that type of thing?
So yeah, it's movies and TV shows. It'll be a website in the beginning, but it will be responsive. So you can use your phone, you can use it on your smart TV, you can use it on your tablet. Yeah, and so it's kind of promoting women and also like female producers as well. So we're really so over here, I don't know if the stats in Ireland, but only 13% of writers are women, 4% of directors are women. So really, like, our voices aren't really making it into the cultural narrative over here. And so
it's a full girls club as such. This is all girl power type of thing from the get-go all the way through, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. It is, yeah. So we're trying to even out those numbers. You know, if you look at things like the Me Too movement and the Time's Up movement, a lot of that is to do with, you know, imbalance in power. So not having, you know, equal opportunities and then therefore being exploited. So we're trying to shift up that narrative, create a space that promotes the voices and creations of other women and people of color, so that, you know, we have the same opportunities as other people in other communities. So should be good. So I don't know if you've heard of Refinery 29, but it kind of it's very kind of colloquial. It talks, you know, in a way that women feel connected to. So, you know, other brands like Netflix and Hulu, they're great at telling other people's story, but they don't really have their own core story. Whereas us from the beginning, we're like, you know, like you said, girl power, like, this is who we are, this is what we stand for. We're going to talk about taboo topics. We're going to break down, you know, lots of subjects that, you know, previously we didn't really have the opportunity.
So it's almost like sitting down. So it's almost like sitting down and watching vagina monologues in a TV box, as such.
Exactly. Yeah.
Talk about everything.
Yeah, exactly. I should hire you for sales. It's basically vagina mom.
I have no problem coming to New York to sales. Excellent job. So tell us, so this is all happening at the moment, and then So you're always traveling as well. So where's your favorite places to go and stuff when you're there?
Ooh, good question. Where are my favorite? I love Southeast Asia. I always have loved Southeast Asia.
Mm-hmm.
I've moved to America. I've been going to like the Caribbean more, so I love Antigua. America's so like one thing I didn't know before I really moved here. You know, we hear a lot about the big cities, but it's so diverse and beautiful. Like, you have like Utah and Arizona and the deserts, and then you have like Colorado with these incredible mountains, and then like, it's just phenomenal. It's so beautiful. So I think this year I'm going to try and travel a little bit more within America. Last few years, when you move here, I'm sure from like friends and stuff moving to New York or London, even, you're just hustling. You're just trying to work as hard as you can, like pave your way, like slowly, like you're chipping away at the stone. And so this year, now that we founded the company and started it, I kind of want to just travel a little bit more around America. But obviously now COVID hit, so I'm not going anywhere. But yeah.
So you're stuck home at the moment. It's absolutely the whole story, like from where you started all the way through today. It's absolutely impelling. It's fantastic. And then to see you really, really fighting hard now for what you believe in, because you were always very strong in that, in your beliefs and all, going way back all the way forward through, which is probably why you've done so well at Miss World as well. You're very strong. So with this new, where do you hope to see yourself now, say 5-10 years time? What would be your goal? Right, clap the hands, say, yep, done. That's it. I got what I wanted. Now moving on to the next thing.
Yeah, I think still the CEO of WILDE, and I think WILDE being a place where people feel that they are represented and can identify with. I think WILDE not just being in America, but being in Europe and Asia also. Yeah, I think that's probably where it is, like building and scaling this company to really be a staple,
to new heights,
changing the way in which people see themselves. I think I don't know whether you had the same thing growing up. I think there's this phrase called, if you can see it, you can be it, and then seeing yourself on screen and feeling like, oh, okay, like that's okay. It's I can be my true authentic self. And I think for a lot of people, that question is coming up more and more, and we're having the freedom to be able to talk about these things and be ourselves. And so I think that having a platform that is like a global place where we advocate for those people, I think that's kind of my dream, is to build that to the point where it's like
it's absolutely an absolutely amazing project to be a part of, and the fact that you're part of the whole birth of it as such and everything else. So basically you could just sit back, work and just watch it grow. It's absolutely brilliant. Quick one for you. In wherever, are you actually in New York City, or are you upstate, or are you whereabouts exactly would you be in New York at the moment?
So I just moved out to Williamsburg, South Williamsburg, in March. So I was in the city for 5 years, all over it, and I decided back in March, I was like, okay, I'm ready for Brooklyn. So I'm a Brooklyn babe now. So since COVID,
very good. It's a nice area.
Yeah.
And tell me this: are you connected in? Like, because I know I've got lots of friends and stuff from the UK, from London and all that, and they've all got their little clan, like the London Irish group and stuff like that. That would be all working in the hospitality industry or the fashion industry. They've all different little pools of people. Are you involved in an Irish group like that over in New York? Is it like a New York Irish group?
Yeah, I have a load of pals here from Ireland and the UK. So it's great.
Yeah.
Australia as well. We get the Aussies in on it as well. But yeah, actually, my building at the moment. So I've only been hanging out with people from my building who I just moved in, like I said, in March. So I just met them 2 months ago. And so we've got like couples from the Netherlands, from 2 people from the UK, like people from everywhere. So it's like really like we're like the European Union over here in Brooklyn.
It's like Eurovision.
It's great, yeah. But no, it's great. It's lovely to connect with people from home, because they know where you're from, they get your humor, they understand also the struggle of moving to a city like New York, and not having any network or any kind of help to establish yourself, and no mum to run home to if things don't go so well, and you just have to you have to support yourself. It just I changed so much since moving here in a really good way, and it really makes you fight for everything that you want, to make you
almost like sink or swim.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so there's that kind of bond
And,
with people who've also done the same thing, because it's not an easy path, but worth it.
and tell me this: what would be, if you were to say what you miss from home? What would they be like? What would you miss from Ireland?
Yeah, well, obviously my parents, I miss them a lot. I haven't seen them since Christmas. So that's tough. And my brother just had a baby as well. So it's the first grandchild in the family, little Max. So miss obviously being able to see
The family.
Abby. And obviously my friends, it's hard to keep in touch with people when you're so many hours, time difference.
And difference in
So like
time zones.
years, so keeping in touch and keeping them. But I've got a really good solid group of friends who I'm still really close with. And then I think what I love about Irish people in general is when you meet them first. So I know this sounds so American to say so friendly, but it's really true. Like there's an instant kind of just warmth and just want to like get to know you, have the crack, don't want anything from you, just want to like, can you hang? Like, are you a good crack?
Here,
Banter.
grab a drink, sit in here, and have a chat.
Yeah. And tell me your life story in the bathroom, and then you're instant best friend.
That's it.
Actually get on for life. Do you know what I mean? Like those things don't.
And then from the whole back in the days of growing up and stuff like that, and being out at the Dublin scene and stuff, what sort of things you remember? What sort of things you miss?
So do you know what I came across the other day? I came across a photo of me and Anthony Remedy in Spy Bar. Do you remember Spy Bar?
Yes, remember Spy do indeed.
Yeah, and I was DJing. He was DJing. Like he was teaching me how to DJ. And I remembered how I actually first started modeling. I was with my best friend Caroline, who we're still best friends. I was bridesmaid at her wedding last year. We were dancing drunkenly on the couches in Spy Bar, because you could do that in Spy Bar. Do you remember those leather couches that line?
I know. I dance on many a couch in Spy Bar.
I miss it. I wish they would open it up again. It'd be brilliant. Anthony, if you're listening.
It's a completely different bar now. It's like it's all, yeah, you wouldn't even recognize it now.
Yeah,
it's beautiful, but it's not like the old days.
Oh, is it still a? Oh, it is. It's a cocktail. Isn't it like a cocktail place or something like that? And it opens at the back.
Yeah.
I was there actually at Christmas time. What's it called again?
Oh, Fire and Drape.
Oh, okay.
Fire and Draper. That's what it's called.
But we'll have to.
Still the same doorway in. Well, that's still the same, but yeah, it's just all very different. You wouldn't be dancing on them chairs, I say.
It was. Remember, so Kate O'Reilly was going around painting on people's faces, and Lily Forberg was taking photographs. And so Lily stopped.
Yeah.
Are you a model? And I was like, ha ha, no. Like went back to my dancing, right? And so that's how we became friends. So she was like, well, come and shoot for me. So I shot for You magazine, with her and Kate and Morris Flynn.
Morris Flynn, celebrity hairdresser now.
Legend. They all are though. They're honestly what a great crew. And then
well, they're all still in the business. They're all still very, very strong in the business, all that group from back then. Like, and they're really, really strong players.
Yeah, and think of Evan Doherty as well. Evan had just photographs. He was still in school, I think, out in Dunleary. And so we were like the one, they were like running amok, all over Dublin, having the crack. And then there was Greta as well. Do you remember Greta actually was the one who introduced me to you guys?
Yes, remember Greta? Gee, yes. Miss Kilkenny at one stage, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's amazing.
Was that right? That was Greta, Miss Kilkenny, yeah.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, you're dead right. But yeah, she's a great girl. But so yeah, that's how I started. So Lily found me drunkenly dancing on a couch in Spy Bar.
And now look at you, hanging out with CEOs.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, good.
Well, listen, what we're going to do now is we're going to do our little quick fire round. Let's see how you do on this one, okay? So I'm going to ask you questions, and you have to give me the first answer that comes to mind, okay? You've got 30 seconds. Oh, the little
she's all ready.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Is our clock ready? Okay, Emma Waldron, this is your quick fire round. Song.
Oh, song. Billie Eilish, Everything I Wanted.
Book.
That's a really tough one. Shadows of the Wind by Louis something or other.
Movie.
Well,
great.
Stepmom. Such a bad choice, but.
Food.
What is it?
Food.
Sushi. Oh, I
Okay.
so bad.
That was a lot of confidence then. It's quick fire round. Let's see how many you got. 1,
Those are
2,
questions.
3,
So
4. Well,
but I was talking to someone about this recently, about on dates, and when someone asks, so tell me your favorite movie and tell me what you like to eat, it's like, well, it's really subjective and really, really hard. And, you know, I like all these movies and all these songs, and it depends on my mood, and depends how I'm feeling, and depends how I...
Depending on the moment in time.
Yeah, hard. But
Well, listen, Emma, it was absolutely fantastic chatting to you. I can't wait to see you in person next time you're in Ireland.
For an old cocktail.
We'll go for a cocktail. I'll bring Fryer and Draper.
Yeah.
They'll look after a table, I'm sure, won't you guys? But yeah, so listen, look after yourself. You're in New York there. It's a fabulous place, so stay safe there. And can't wait to see you when you're back in Ireland, or maybe when we're in New York. Anyway, guys, that was a fantastic chat there with Emma. Thanks, Emma. See you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Yes.